Today, I want to recommend to you this book right here. It's called Replenish by Lance Witt. And I love the subtitle, Leading from a Healthy Soul. You know, in this book, it's written in bite-sized chapters or chunks, and he slowly and strategically walks through reminders that are specifically for church leaders to have a healthy soul. I love what he says in the beginning of this book. He says, "We will never grow healthy churches with unhealthy leaders." I hope you know how important that is for you and I as church leaders to have healthy souls. And so in this book, Lance Witt, man, he does a great job of bringing out practical topics that are specifically for church leaders. And they're only 3 to 5 page chapters sometimes that give you reflection questions and help you think about these subjects. He does a great job giving his own personal stories and struggles in leadership as he is a church leader in a church as well. Here's a couple of quotes. When leaders neglect their entire interior life, they run the risk of prostituting the sacred gift of leadership, and they run the risk of being destructive instead of productive. Man, it's just so important to know the importance of being a healthy leader. He says, paying attention to your outer life while your inner life languishes or neglecting it, it's like getting a facelift when you have a tumor. We need to make sure that we're spending time doing the work to preparing our souls for the people that we're going to serve. Because guess what? Our followers actually follow their leader. And if we have unhealthy souls and are unhealthy emotionally and spiritually and physically in these type of ways, they're going to follow after us. And so what kind of example are we giving to people? I hope it's one of a godly example. As we're abiding in Christ, we're becoming like him, and we can say to other people, follow me as I follow Christ. And so I love this book. There are so many zinger quotes in this book that really just grab your attention. Listen to a couple of these little quotes. Leadership is wonderful unless it morphs into an idol. Yeah, that's a pretty good quote, Lance. Or ministry is a character profession. And listen, he doesn't just give you this quote, but then he dives deep into it, unpacks it in a few pages, and helps you process it. Listen to this quote. You can't live at warp speed without warping your soul. Oh, so good. So many good quotes and thoughts. And I've actually made a whole PDF of quotes that stood out to me from this book on our Patreon community. It will be available that you could download as you're a part of that Patreon community, because I want to make sure that you're getting a little preview and taste of this book, because I do recommend it. But he also does a great job of not just giving you zingers or little bangers of quotes that just are thought-provoking. He dives deep into explaining it. And then at the end of each chapter, he gives questions for you to reflect, for you to ponder, and even to discuss with others. He says, what would it look like to be excessive, obnoxious, and over the top with your encouragement this week? Wow. Can you just think about that real quick? What would it look like for you to be excessive, obnoxious, and even over the top with encouragement for this week? That was just one question from the end of a chapter that he was talking about how leaders are able to speak life into other people. Amazing and so good, right? To be able to reflect, to think about that. And so I think this is a great read, as well as to know how important it is in this big concept of having a healthy soul as a church leader. He says, we have neglected the fact that a pastor's greatest leadership tool is a healthy soul. I want to recommend to you this book because I don't want you to neglect your soul. I think it's super important. Pick up a copy, learn from it, go to our Patreon page, pick up the PDF quotes where you can actually quote and hymn to other people, and just pass this resource on to others. This book will definitely help you in this area of having a healthy soul as a church leader, and I believe that you should check it out.